The resistance R in a given length of wire is inversely proportional to the square of the diameter D of the wire. The resistance is 12 ohms when the diameter is 2 millimeters. Calculate the diameter when the resistance is 18.75 ohms. And so here they tell us that the resistance R is inversely proportional to the square of the diameter. And so in symbolic form, we write this as R is inversely proportional to the diameter squared, or R is inversely proportional to D squared, where R is the resistance and D is the diameter. And so if we have that R is inversely proportional to D squared, what does that mean? Well, that means that there exists a constant K such that R is equal to K over D squared. Now, what is this constant K? Our goal is to figure out what is this constant K? What is the value of this constant? And so we substitute, we know that R is equal to 12, right? So we put 12 instead of R. And we know that the diameter, right, D is equal to 2. So we put 2 here. And so our equation is 12 is equal to K all over 2 squared. Now, what is 2 squared? Well, 2 squared is equal to 4. So we have K over 4. And we put 12. We write 12 as a fraction. So we put 12 over 1. So we have 12 over 1 is equal to K over 4. We cross multiply. So we have 1 times K. And 1 times K is simply K. And we have 4 times 12. And we have that right there, 12 times 4. And so we have that 12 times 4 is equal to 48. So we have that K is equal to 48. Next, seeing that we already know what is this constant, the constant here in this situation is 48. Now we're gonna figure out the diameter when the resistance is 18.75 ohms. And so we know that K is equal to 48. We know that R is equal to 18.75. And we have this equation, R is equal to K all over D squared. And that's because the resistance is inversely proportional to the diameter squared. And so we know that R is equal to 18.75. We know that K is equal to 48. And so we substitute those values. Next, we take 18.75 and we put it over 1, and we set it equal to 48 divided by D squared. And here we cross multiply. So we have that 18.75 is multiplied by D squared, and 1 is multiplied by 48. And so we have 18.75 D squared is equal to 48. And our goal is to isolate D squared. And so let's divide both sides of this equation by 18.75. This cancels with that. And so we're left with D squared is equal to 48 divided by 18.75. That's what D squared is equal to. 48 divided by 18.75. Next, we divide these two numbers. 48 divided by 18.75 gives us 2.56. And so we have that D squared is equal to 2.56. Next, we take the square root of both sides. The root cancels out with the power. And so we have that D is equal to the square root of 2.56. And the square root of 2.56 is 1.6. And so that means that the diameter, when the resistance is 18.75 ohms, the diameter is equal to 1.6 millimeters. And that's the answer to this particular question.